Hello and welcome to ASMR. Today we are at this beautiful location and we are going to talk about this. Well, not just this, but any single cylinder engines. And I've been hearing this complaint for a long time and I've been asked so many questions about what are the things that you've done for vibration. How can we eliminate vibrations? Well, you cannot. That's the bottom line. Okay, let's end the video. No, but let's also understand why vibration happens on this or any other single cylinder engine, why they call thumpers. Also, what are the things that we can do to minimize this vibration to the max? Stay tuned, this is going to be very interesting and this will make your ride absolutely blissful if you follow the steps that I have used personally. Stay tuned. Every single cylinder has four stages. So there is intake, then there is power, then there is compression and the exhaust. Now, all this happens when the shaft goes in a circular movement in two cycles. So 720 degrees, not 360 degrees. The problem is in these 720 degrees, just 1/4 of the part produces power, which is just 180 degree. Now, when this produces power, what does the other cycle do? It does nothing. So when you talk about the 180 degree, this is where the power is created. Now to make sure the engine runs smoothly and there is power throughout, what the engineers have done brilliantly is they have created this special space called flywheel. What this flywheel does is basically this absorbs the energy during the power phase and then releases it throughout the cycle. So all the three cycles remaining which do not produce power, the flywheel takes the power and releases it then. And hence there is this thumping sound of every single cylinder, which is more prominent in the Bullet. 350 is a classic example of it. There is a classic thump and then there are different angles, but the power is still generated. So this is how basic single cylinder works. All right, now let's talk about vibration. See, let's understand this very simply. Okay, there's a lot more technicality in, but to understand how wire vibrates, it's very simple to understand. Now, there are two forces because of which vibration happens. There is a primary force and the secondary force. You see the piston goes up and down, all right? Now, on the top, and the kind it moves is, it goes up very quickly and it stops at the top and it goes down and it stops at the bottom. And when it stops at the bottom, it creates a force and which shakes the engine, right? This is the primary force. The secondary force is a little bit more subtle. We are just not talking about the primary force, but the secondary force. So primary force is because it goes up, stops, goes down, stops. But the second part is the speed by which it goes up and down is also different. It goes faster towards the upwards and goes slower downwards. This force also, this movement and this energy also creates the secondary force, which is subtle, but it creates more frequent vibration. Hence, both primary and secondary forces combine together and creates vibration. All right, now please understand, engineers had to do something about this because if the bike was to left at its original stage of vibration, it wouldn't have been possible to ride these bikes. So these engineers are really smart and that's why they're paid for. So they came up with two solutions to these two different problems of secondary and primary force. For the first solution, what they did was they created a counterweight to the entire piston moving up down. So crankshaft has a balancing act to it. There is a counterweight which is put, which goes into the opposite direction. So the piston goes up, the crank and the balancing weight goes down. Now, top to bottom is taken care of. What about side to side vibrations? So a balance shaft was introduced. What happens is, because the crankshaft goes round and round and there is side to side vibrations also happening, they put a balancing weight which would move in the opposite direction of the crankshaft. So the crankshaft is moving this way, for example. This counterweight, this balance shaft moves in the other direction, which kind of minimizes the sideways vibration. You will feel vibrations at certain RPMs, that for sure. And for certain RPMs, it will smoothen out. So you'll have to find the right band and we'll also mix it with the hacks that we have, with the kind of things that you can do to minimize the vibrations. I think this understanding will help you minimize and have fun even though there is vibrations. Okay, here's the first thing that you do. Bar ends. Now the weight on this are okay, and these are the first thing that you should do. Most people don't talk about it, they don't even know about it. But I think if you have, and you can learn about it online as well, if you have heavier bar ends, this will minimize at least 50% of your vibrations in the handle. So get this and see if you can find something heavier than the OEMs. Okay, let's talk about the second part, handlebar grips. Get a good cushiony, not so thick, because that will be not so great for your wrist and for your palms in the long run. But get a good, at least if something is available with gel, get a good cushioned handlebar grip. This will also minimize a lot of your vibration. The next point is the seat. Get a good cushioned seat. Not very soft, but good enough for touring and traveling, and also for daily commute. Get something with a gel pad or a good memory foam, or whatever kind of foam. I'm not going to recommend anything, but get a good one, as whatever your height and weight is. There are different manufacturers that create it, but get a good seat. It will change the way you feel vibrations on your bum and on your thighs. Now there are these three things left which I have done, which have really helped me. The number one point is have good gloves, good cushion gloves. They've really helped me. There's the handle grip, and then there is the grip, and then there is gloves. Really helps. The secondly, get the wheel balancing done. Good, get this, the alignment done. That could also create a lot of vibrations, and always having them perfect will always help you, not just in vibrations but also handling.
Okay, now the third point is the vibration damper for the foot pegs. These vibration dampers are screwed to both the foot pegs, and they create kind of a physical barrier for the vibrations to transfer. Now please understand, if you are installing the vibration dampers on the foot pegs, if you have a center stand, it is mandatory to get these, because of the center stand there is a lot of rattle, and you have to have something which bridges this rattle and minimize it. So if you have a center stand, this becomes mandatory, and otherwise also it's mandatory.
Get a good phone mount. It's not directly connected to the vibration of the motorcycle, but anything you install on this for your GPS or for your mobile for traveling, I think you should always have it with vibration dampers. And the last thing, if you're getting handlebar risers, please make sure that you go to don't do it DIY. You can do it DIY, but then go to an expert and get these balanced well. Because the way they are turned towards you, the way the handle is, and the distance from you, and the entire ergonomics, or the entire physics, the angle, the rake angle, everything, that had to be taken in account when you change the angle of the handle.
Now this is something that you could do, but I think a service center would be better off with it. So all these engines mounted, they are mounted on rubber, as I've explained earlier. The rubber bolts that are there to minimize the vibrations, and they are installed on the engine bolt, on the frame bolt. Just go and get them checked. When you're going for the next service, get them checked. If there is any kind of problem with these brushes, just get them replaced.
The bottom line being, if anyone claims that they would give you products, or they can tell you things about the engine that will absolutely eliminate the vibration, they're lying to you. So now that you've understood, and thankfully you've watched the entire video, you've understood why the vibration happens and what are the things that you can do. And make this a belief that if you've taken a motorcycle, it will never be vibration free. Even 3, 2 or 4 cylinder engines are not vibration free. I've had all of them, trust me. Ride safe, stay safe. And till the next time I see you, ciao.